I tried hypnosis and it fucking worked. But not just any hypnosis, I tried hypnosis for success. So let me show you exactly what happened. So somewhere around 5 to 7 years ago, I met a master hypnosis. So I actually happened to join a mastermind mainly because of a guy that I met at a gym. A bit of a small story is that when I was at the gym, I was very shy and more so insecure, I would say. So it was always very difficult for me to talk to people. So one of these days I said, you know what? I was like, when I'm at the gym, it's where I am the most competent and also the most confident. So I told myself that I was going to talk to at least one person every single day just to build a relationship. One of those guys that I met happened to be a guy that was part of a mastermind. He then invited me to this mastermind, which was basically a group of guys who were either entrepreneurs or trying to become entrepreneurs. And really the whole idea behind it was really just to be accountable to each other, right? So in that process, we met all types of people, right? We met people who were pretty successful. Some people were just trying to figure it out. Some were making some money. Some were up to like really big things. And then there was this one guy. He was very confident, very well spoken. And as we got to know him, he started sharing with us that he was actually a hypnotist and that he's been practicing hypnotism and NLP and all these different types of coaching mechanisms where he would mainly focus on helping himself, right? So there's a lot of information out there about hypnosis and NLP, and there's a way to actually apply within yourself, but also apply it towards other people, right? And that's where some of the power comes in, you could say, right? And there's a lot of power in doing it towards yourself as well. Point is that this guy got really, really, really good. And we became pretty good friends to the point where as I started learning more about his experience, his expertise, how much he knew, and I built that trust with him, I basically let him hypnotize me. It was kind of funny because he was like, I think I asked him, I was like, so can you hypnotize, in anything? Or like, does it have to be something specific? And he was like, no, pretty much anything. Like, if you trust me, like I can hypnotize you in something small, right? So the thing with hypnosis is that from what I understand, you can't get hypnotized unless you actually allow the person to do it. You're giving your subconscious permission to the words that are being spoken to you. I basically told him, I was like, you know what? Hypnotize me to not liking donuts anymore. I have a huge fascination with donuts. Like donuts was like my go-to food since I can remember. Part of the reason why I brought up the donut thing was because I knew it was something that I deeply, deeply loved and desired. And at the same time, if I didn't have it anymore, it's not like it was gonna kill me. If anything, it was gonna help me, right? Because I knew firsthand that one of the biggest issues that I had when I was becoming an entrepreneur was my discipline when it came to food, right? We all know that food can play a huge toll on us. And depending on the types of foods that you're eating and how healthy your gut is, those foods can severely affect you in terms of, performance, focus, brain activity, energetically, going to the gym, all these different things. Point is that I decided to let him do that because I figured, I was like, you know what, if anything, it's only gonna help me. So I gave him permission. I was like, you know what, okay, let's do it. It must have taken literally like 5 minutes, if that. After that, we were actually at a restaurant. I think we were going to go to a restaurant. So we had dinner, done deal, forgot about it. And it was literally about 2 to 3 years later, I was in Miami. I was on vacation and I was with a few friends. We went to a restaurant to go have breakfast, and they had pastries in there. I walk in there and I see the baked goods, right? Every time I walk into a restaurant or a bake shop or anything like that, like I always want to look at it. I looked at it and I was like, oh man, this stuff looks really good. I looked at the donuts because they had some donuts. At that second, as soon as I recognized the donuts, I realized that I had not had a donut in over 3 years. And I know this might sound crazy, but I'm telling you, I did not have a single donut since that day that the hypnotist hypnotized me. I don't think I would even think about donuts. It worked so well that even the thought or the desire to want a donut wasn't even there, to the point where I wouldn't even think about it for years. Like I had no clue. What I realized at that moment too is that my wants and my desires for food shifted to other foods, right? So that want for food was still there. So it shifted to cookies. So if anything, I actually fell in love more with cookies after the realization that I didn't like donuts anymore. Like even till this day, like I will eat a donut, it doesn't taste the same anymore. So what exactly is hypnosis? The American Psychological Association defines it as a state of focused attention and heightened suggestibility, proven effective for habit change and performance improvement. So through hypnosis, I worked on overcoming the limiting beliefs about money and success. And for example, I had this subconscious belief that rich people are greedy, right? And after hypnosis sessions, I found myself actually more comfortable with charging what I'm worth and actually pursuing bigger deals, right? So I knew it from a technical standpoint, from a conscious standpoint, but not from a subconscious standpoint. And that's really where we operate out of. And just so you know, there's a lot of people out there, and probably successful people, who've done hypnosis, but they just don't really talk about it. Somebody who does, though, who you've probably heard of, is Rob Dyrdek. He's an entrepreneur and TV personality who's been in a show called Rob and Big. There's actually an interview that Rob Dyrdek did with Lewis House, where he literally credited his success to hypnosis, which helped him visualize and achieve those goals, including some of the major deals that he's gotten. Again, I was working with this guy about 6 years ago. When I found out about Rob Dyrdek, probably like 2 years ago, I actually said, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna go back into hypnosis. So I found Rob Dyrdek's therapist out in San Diego. So we were actually doing weekly video sessions where we would focus on enhancing the creativity, decision-making, and for instance, after our sessions, some of my creative problem-solving strategies and cash flow systems and really just operating a business from a different perspective completely started changing my business, because I then started seeing the business from a different lens, right? And that's what a lot of us don't realize, is that we grow up and based on our parents, on our environment, and all the different traumas that happen, we create this lens of all the external factors, right? And whatever happens to us, we interpret that from that lens because that's the lens that we created. But through subconscious reprogramming using hypnosis or NLP, you can actually change that lens and start viewing things from a different angle. So when you start viewing those things from a different angle, you start seeing the gaps, right? You start seeing what you weren't seeing before. And no exaggeration, from the moment I started doing hypnosis back in 2022, my revenue literally doubled from months within that time frame. I had my highest month ever in revenue literally about 3 to 4 months after that day. Look, I'm not telling you that hypnosis isn't magic or is magic or anything like that, right? I'm just really letting you know that this is a tool that you can use, or find other types of tools that can help you not just see the power of your subconscious mind, but reprogram it especially. So this has really opened my eyes to, really to see the potential in myself as a person and in business as well. So now imagine all the times that you've started doing something, whether it was weight loss or a business or actually studying for your test at school. Most of us aren't willing to keep going until we actually get there. And what's happening there is the limiting beliefs. So set up a system and a structure that can help you attain those goals, and then at the same time find a way to implement some type of subconscious brain work to help you rewire your thoughts. And always remember, success is more of a mindset rather than a skill. Skills are very attainable, anybody can get them, they're all over the internet. But if you don't have the right mindset, the right belief system, it's gonna be hard and you're gonna struggle, just like I did. So now I'm curious if any of you guys would actually be willing to try hypnotism or have done it. I'm really curious to know your experience of what has came up and if you actually saw any results. If you guys really like this video and you're very curious as to all the different things that I've done to help me get to this point, don't forget to like this video and also subscribe, because I will be dropping everything that I've ever learned across my YouTube channel. So thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.